Alright, so welcome back. This will be the start of part 4. Yeah, part 4. I kind of screwed up my part, so I went and edited a little bit. But this should be the completion of the sponsons. Try to get those done today. So just kind of showed you guys how you have these jigged up. And we do have a little bit of gappage there, but it's okay. I'll go ahead and go along and fill them in. I'm going to take all this stuff off, but I just wanted to show how I taped and clamped the wood. And these sections, you can pre-bend them lightly. You know, take some of the scraps and bend them, kind of get a feel for how the wood bends and where it breaks and all that. And you can get the lines pretty much spot on. So I try to get these seam lines as close as I could, and like there, get that level. And this one's going to be the inside of the sponson, so try to get that as level as possible. This one, not so much. You just kind of lay it down because the other seam is on this part right here and here for the outside skin, which comes next. And you can see I kind of pre-bent those a little bit to get them to join up and not fight the tape and the clamps as much. And of course you want to go along and get a file. I usually do about 5 passes with my little hand file, and that deburrs it nice. So they're coming along. This one I kind of splotched. I got this one covered good, and this one I was like, oh crap, it's hardening up, so I kind of splotched everything on there, but it's okay. Still kind of debating whether I want to fill the sponsons with foam or I was actually thinking bubble wrap. Just stick some bubble wrap in there, keep it simple. Alright, so I kind of reached a point where I'm gonna go to the next step, and I want to show where I'm at before that, so in case you guys are having trouble with the sponsons, maybe this will help. So as you can see, I cut up some pool noodle there, get some spaces filled, and leave space for the boom tubes. Probably do something bigger than that, but that's just test fit. But yeah, side panels, or that seam there, I went over it pretty good. It looks like it's filled in, but after I take the tape off and get ready to lay this top piece on, I'm probably going to go along and go along the seams here and the joints, because some of these side joints here, they didn't stick all the way down. That one looks good. This one here, yeah, you can see where it's stuck at the top, but then there's a whole big gap in there. So you can see I tried to smear it around and fill it in there, but it's kind of runny until it gets ready to cure. But it's coming along. See that seam? One came out okay. And you can just sand the stuff down, you know. Epoxy, fill it in with epoxy and sawdust or whatever, or just epoxy, and just sand it down. But I tried to get everything as even as I could. The corners are going to stick out a little bit on this, the top lid, and that, and I believe that's intentional, so you can get a nice sanded complete look, get it sealed. So you do one piece, sand it down. So what I'm going to do is remove this tape, sand these tops completely flat, because they stick up on that rib right there. They stick up a little bit. So that joint didn't go exactly how I wanted. The other one's better. Let's see here what I'm talking about. See, that one's nice and flat, but it is what it is. It's my first one, and you can fix your mistakes. Alright, back with the next step. So we have the sponsons all cleaned up, sanded as level as I can get them without digging into the supports there. Looks good. It's ready for the top. And those look good. I kind of filed down the points just so it's even. Doesn't really matter, but I wanted them to be even because it's going to be riding, you know, it'll be riding back here. But There are plenty of gaps. Look at that gap. A few on this side, you know. So my plan is I'm going to epoxy with this because it has the edge to get down in the corners, get that from the inside, and I'll do the outside later, sand that down. Oh, and another thing, I put the motor in there, put the cooling sleeve on there. I'm gonna have to take it out again to upgrade these bullets for the 180, but I just wanted to test fit it, see how it looks and all that, make sure I had the right bolts and how the stuffing tube's gonna run. So I have some adjustment there. First I'm thinking all the way down, but then that would be maybe too shallow of an angle for the stuffing tube, but too high might push the motor up too much. So I got it kind of in the middle-ish, and motor clears. And I got the jacket kind of turned to the side there. I'm figuring I'm going to run the cooling through here and kind of down and around. We'll figure something out. We'll make it work. And the servo does fit. Oh, not like that. It's going to go like that. It'll clear. I think I have to cut the top part of that arm off, but it should clear. Alright, so it's the next day. Bottom of the sponsons are cured. I'll just kind of set the lids on there to show my choice of grain and pattern. Pretty cool. I tried the varnish on these two lid pieces, and it's not what I thought it was. It coats the wood good like it says, but I guess my brain mistaked it for, I thought varnish was stain, but I kind of want to wood stain it to give it make the grain stand out and give it a unique look. Let's see, it's got a pretty cool pattern there on the sides. I think that would look nice in a stain, but sponsons are done. And I got foam installed. See this side. I didn't want to waste the epoxy that I had mixed up, so I just kind of gooped it in there and made sure I got all the seam lines on the inside, so there's no water going in there. This side here, that's a little less epoxy. They feel like they're the same weight. It doesn't feel like one's like ridiculously heavier than the other. As you see, I can just kind of spread that one around with the stick. I spread it around as best I could. Back in place. And we're gonna get ready to, oh yeah, I have these sanded. Yeah, that was most of the work last night, getting these sanded down even. I'm gonna push the foam down, make sure there's no upward pressure. But I'm about to mix up some epoxy, coat the top here, tape the lids down, and that'll be basically it for the sponsons. I know with speed runs you don't really need a turn fin, but I'm going to put the bracket on there just in case, so I have the option. So yeah, that's where we're at on that. And what was I going to show? Oh, nose cone. Put the nose cone on there, and it's not really a cone yet. Got to file that down. I had to add one extra piece of scrap wood to make it stick out far enough and high enough so it makes that round curve there. But I used shoe goo for this. I don't know why. I just didn't feel like mixing up epoxy. And shoe goo is good enough for structural stuff, so that's what I used to sandwich the pieces together and stick it on there. So it's next day, it's hard enough. I can start sanding on it. Probably do some sanding while this is curing up before work today, and that'll be it for part 4. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.